Hi, friends. So good to be with you today. It's Elizabeth. I'm here to talk a little bit about movement wisdom um, and a bit of light sequencing, as I tend to do. So, I was just working with a private client this morning, and one thing that she was experiencing a lot of is stress. So, when you're under stress, we have cortisol, our favorite stress hormone. And I'm actually not sure, but it looks to me like my screen is inverting this, so maybe all of this is backwards. That's funny if it is, but we'll cross that bridge. So when she's showing up with stress and with cortisol, I can go one of two ways, right? Like I can meet her and like really bring her a strong practice, or I can try to reduce this. And because of her body and what I know about her, I'm choosing to reduce it with breath work first. Um, and in order to get her breath work to be really effective, I love to do something that I have taught for years in my teacher training, but the six movements of the spine. So we have this fantastic spine and it moves more than six ways. But when we think about the six ways, flexion, extension, lateral, lateral, and then twisting, we're going to address all of the degrees in between that as well. So, what are ways that we can do this? And this is basic movement hygiene, y'all. If you're brushing your teeth, if you're flossing your teeth, if you do the basics of your personal hygiene every day, this should be a part of it. So, the first one is just a quadruped cat cow. So when I was just finishing this last teacher training group, one student cleverly identified cow pose, the sway back position, as pointing your udders to the ground. Ha ha ha. And then cat pose when you're in more of a rounded spine position, like a Halloween cat. So we have that arch up. This starts to warm up the posterior chain, bringing tail towards head, getting strength tone in the back, and warm up the anterior chain by drawing your abdominals up. So, in turn, this creates movement through the vertebra, which will expand one part of the vertebral disc and then open it into the other area as well, increasing the way that the nerves are able to experience mobility up adjacent to the spine also. So that's our flexion and extension. I'll just write that here, flex, extend. And then we have, again, we can do this from hands and knees. We can do this from a lot of ways. Today we're just talking hands and knees, like basic movement. So then we can come into a lateral stretch. So if I'm on hands and knees, I can turn my gaze, look over here, right? I'm going to create an arch to my spine as I swing my tail over one direction as well. So I'm looking to the right and moving my tail to the right, which is creating an arc to my spine. So here's the upward view. This is my tail. I'll draw like a big fuzzy foxtail to accentuate that. And going back and forth. So this uses the obliques drawing in on one side. It opens on the other side, the obliques, the intercostals, everything can get nice and broad, and doing the opposite. So this is really efficient. You can use it with your breath as well. So we have that lateral movement, lateral, right, left. And then finally, here is a twist. So open one arm up and then dive it under. So this brings the trunk down at a bit of an angle here. Your head, your ear will come to the ground. And then this opposite arm can act as a little sort of metronome and skillfully bring you into a deeper experience or a lighter experience by pushing your hand into the ground here. So your shoulders are rolling back, Keep your weight even between your knees so your pelvis stays organized, though, especially if you have low back pain. Getting torque into your pelvis from this position is not going to feel very good. So then we have rotation, right, left. So here's two, and here's two. Six main motions of the spine. So try to work that in every day to make sure that you're giving your vertebra the movement hygiene that they need in order to maintain availability. So what I'll see in people over time is, there'll be some kind of structural pattern, like maybe you're at a desk and you're a little rounded in your back here and you're sitting and you're hunched over. You're at likely a keyboard and here's a monitor. So your head is lifted up a little bit, torquing through the neck here, but you're rounded. So this is the imprint that you might have in your body. And maybe you hold this position for and put a smiley face on that screen. You hold this position for I mean, I don't know, 2 hours. Then you take a little break, 10 minutes, walk around, whatever, come back, do another 2 hours. Then you have lunch, 30 minutes. Then another 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours, and then you're done for the day. So that would be like an 8-hour day, right? Let's just say. And this is different now, right? Because we have a lot of people who can um, Zoom in, they work from home, maybe you're in a partial, um, shared hours. So this isn't how everybody is operating, but just as a template. So this is giving me 2, 4, 6, 8 hours in this position. Think about that for a moment. That's a lot of time downloading in your nervous system this position. That's a lot of time shortened in this front line here. That's a lot of time compressing on your organs. It's a lot of time having your coccyx slumped under, creating dysfunction into your pelvic floor, maybe constipation, lack of sexual pleasure, um, and creating all sorts of other functional movement issues. Lack of glute recruitment right here, no butt. Got the flat butt move. So this is a long time giving this kind of input. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to take 8 hours to do an opposite. So one opposite that comes to mind here would be, say, a sphinx pose. So that's to prop yourself up on your elbows, bring your head back, and to be conscious about not thrusting your chin up, but to retract so that you're broadening in your chest. Okay, you'll create broadening through all of this. Um, I think of this as like a little kid on the floor watching TV. Here's another picture now of a tree. So, um, but you could take this position if you're reading, for example. You can take it, of course, on your yoga mat. Just getting down close to the earth, laying in your yard, laying on the grass. So taking a position like this gives the opposite input of this. Now, you don't necessarily need 8 hours in this position. You can take it in like homeopathic doses, right? Little doses more frequently throughout the day to help counteract this long standing position. But ultimately, what I want you to get to is that if I am, say, um, eating a birthday cake, here's a candle and a birthday cake. We'll put a couple candles, maybe the person's 3. Beautiful cake, lots of sprinkles. I need to get my colors to make this really beautiful, but it's going to go for now. If I'm eating a birthday cake every single day and I'm accumulating a lot of sugar on my teeth, we all know that that's going to be damaging to my teeth over time, not to mention to all the rest of our body systems. So in order to combat this, I will say floss my teeth every night, and I'll bring floss, bring it between my teeth, get it up into the corners so that I can maintain healthy teeth and gums. I'm holding this position 8 hours a day. I got to do some kind of energetic flossing. Help my physical body out, create a little bit of cleansing, And it's not only going to facilitate the mobility and move us into places where that mobility might be lacking, but when we are stuck, we form something that I call movement amnesia. So there are places that will just stop talking to us. So we won't be able to feel how to get movement into this upper back space anymore. I have this X already here where our glutes start to become amnesic. All of these places start to turn off. We can't access it anymore. And then we don't know that we don't know. And that is what I do with people in my bodywork practice, because frequently when you're at a point where you're in movement amnesia, you will carry that amnesia through into these 6 main movements of the spine. So unless you are working with someone privately in a movement context with private yoga clients or hands-on body work to help you awaken to and feel those places, it's really, really, really hard to tap back into. So we need to have a little bit of manual assist or specific witnessing in order to be able to awaken to and remind our body of its movement potential. So when we can find this movement potential again, then we can use our structure and use the movements of our structure to go back to the beginning of what we talked about, which was a high level of stress. We can use movement will reduce stress. Movement will also, specifically the 6 main movements of the spine here, open up your capacity to breathe. So when we can open our capacity to breathe, we're able to draw that diaphragm down. We're able to massage into our psoas, massage our organs, help to actually massage the cortisol in our body through the biomechanical action of our breath. And the more that we're able to breathe, the more cortisol we're able to reduce in our body. Take a deep breath, everybody. Come into movement. You got 6 main movements of the spine. Play with it. Let me know how it goes. Love you. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye.